You going?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So live by the 3, die by the 3.
Right, live by the 3, die by the 3. Steph Curry had a tough shooting night. You have to give Delanova credit. He gave him a hard time, had a hand in his face every time. But even when Curry was able to break away and get an open look, the ball just was not kind to him tonight. So hopefully he'll find his shooting rhythm again for Game 3. But I must say that tonight was an outstanding game. It was unbelievable. Very similar to Game 1. And people say that Mayweather and Pacquiao was a good fight. This has really been an epic heavyweight battle, and I am so excited to see how this entire series is going to play out.
Cool.
So that's all that I have for this evening. Hope you all tuned in.
Yep.
Questions?
Yep, got some questions coming in from some folks. Also online on Twitter, got folks coming in with some questions. And anybody here on Periscope, if you have questions, go ahead and put them in the chat. To start the conversation off, what do you feel about Klay Thompson's performance tonight?
Oh, Klay Thompson, he had a monster performance. I felt like he had a great game. He was aggressive early on. He got into a good rhythm. And even though he got into early foul trouble early in the game, he continued to be aggressive offensively, carrying the load because he saw that Curry was having an off shooting night. And he knew that he would have to carry the scoring load for the Warriors. So he had a great game. Great game.
Cool. How do you feel about LeBron James's performance? How many minutes did he play? All of the 84 some odd minutes that he played? How do you feel about that?
Yes, LeBron played 50 minutes. The man logged in 50 minutes. I think he played all but 2 minutes of the game. I know he sat down at the end, the last few seconds of the third quarter, maybe the last few seconds of the second quarter. But he poured in 39 points. And he did some of everything. I mean, he rebounded, he was aggressive, he was a playmaker distributing the ball, the role of the point guard. LeBron continues to defy all odds and prove the doubt is wrong. You know, even though he might, but you can't deny the brother's talent. I mean, he can play. Yeah, he can ball. So I know that he's more determined to carry this team to victory and to get Cleveland that championship.
Cool. So I know that there was a moment at the end of the game where LeBron was quite emotional about the win, which is to be expected, but I know there were some tweets and comments saying, oh God, don't pull a CP3. Don't start crying about a Game 2 win. How you feel about that?
Well, that was a hard game.
Yeah.
I mean, when you put your all into a competition like that, you come out victorious, you are going to get emotional. Not just for the win, but everything else on top of that as far as the team. I mean, LeBron, Kyrie Irving, and Kevin Love, they got together to form the new quote-unquote Big Three.
Mm-hmm.
And Kevin Love has been out since the Boston series. I was back in the first round. Kyrie was hurt at the end of Game 1. So to overcome all of those odds and be able to lead your team to victory is very gratifying and very fulfilling.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll put Thomas on. So we got a 3-year-old in the room. Say hi, CJ. Okay. So next up question. So regarding Steph, if his 3 isn't falling, what should he do? If his 3-point shot, which is his bread and butter, isn't falling, what should he do?
Shit, move in closer. I mean, if you're constantly shooting the ball 20, 22, 23 feet out and it ain't going in, you need to say, hey, well, you know what? this ain't working. Set me some screens, let me penetrate, the ball in, get some easier looks. I mean, that's all there is to it. Or if that's not working, say, well, you know what? My shot's not falling. Let me take on the role of a distributing point guard. Let me look to create for others, since what I'm creating for myself ain't working. Let me create for Harrison Barnes and Draymond Green and Klay Thompson, get these guys going. Then maybe I can get myself into a rhythm later in the game. But he has to make some adjustments.
Now, Van Gundy mentioned like that gunslinger mentality is what he said, meaning like just keep shooting until it falls. And, back in the day, MJ used to have that same mentality. Like, he would be, shooting until it ended up falling. Like, Michael and them would call it shooting his way out of whatever slump he was in. So why do you feel like it worked for old school players back in the day, but it's not quite working for the Steph Currys of the world?
Well, the thing is the difference between Michael and Curry is that Curry shot his team out the game. Michael, he might get into a slump, but he was not going to shoot his team out of the game, because what he wasn't doing offensively, he was making up for it on the defensive end. I mean, his own guy wasn't going back to the other end of the basket, scoring, and Michael's missing all his shots. Curry, it can be, blame can go all around, but I feel like Curry at times might have shot his team out the game and really just forcing what was not there, what was not working.
Right. Okay. Next question. So obviously Cavs won tonight in overtime. Do you think they are missing Kyrie?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think that was pretty obvious early on in the game. Kyrie Irving is very good at distributing the ball, getting everybody going, getting to a rhythm on the offensive end, and also help take some of the scoring burden off LeBron. So I think that it was obvious that they do miss him, and they're going to miss him. But, they're going to need players like Delanova, J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert to step their game up and make up for that scoring drought that they would have without Irving.
Cool. Couple more questions. What do you think about this rule with the shoulder drop and refs? How do you think the NBA should handle this moving forward? Because we've seen this in the regular season where it's cost a game, it's cost, somebody even injury at times because somebody wanted to get a quick foul and pull a shoulder drop. I call it the Kobe because to me, he seems like the one that uses it most often. But how do you feel about the rule and where it's going to go and what the NBA should do about it in the upcoming seasons?
I hate it. Always have. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. I mean, if a defender jumps up in the air, jumps straight up and comes down, you got to give him an opportunity to land on his feet. But allowing guys to pump fake a guy and to initiate contact, that should be an automatic offensive foul or even a charge. I don't like it. I don't like it. And the NBA really needs to look into that and look into outlawing that call because I don't like it. I know Dwayne Wade, he's one of the best at it. He does it all the time.
Dwayne Wade too, yeah.
It's one thing to initiate contact if the defender jumps into you. But if the guy jumps straight up and down, you got to give him room to land on his feet. You can't draw up into him.
Right. Okay. All right. Last question for our Periscope broadcast. So Game 3 is coming up. Going to be in Cleveland. And we know how the Cleveland crowd is. We've been to a few Cavs games. What do you think is the strategy for Golden State, especially after this loss in another overtime situation?
Well, Golden State, they're going to have to learn how to depend on each other and not depend on the crowd. I felt like early in the game, especially in that first quarter, the Warriors making a lot of emotional plays based on the reaction of the crowd. You know, you grab a big rebound, the crowd roars, then they're running down trying to shoot a three-pointer to get the crowd even more worked up. But they can't do that this time. This time it'll be the Cavs' turn to use the home court advantage of having a crowd dressed in gold.
Right. Yeah.
So it's going to be a good game, a tough battle. I expect the game to be tight and come down to the wire like the first two games of this series.
For sure. Okay, you want to sign us off? I'm going to just quickly show our website so that folks can visit it and check out our blog. It's 2132.wordpress.com. And all analysis and gameplay commentary by this man right here. And go ahead and sign us out.
Okay, guys. Well, thank you for checking us out this evening and being able to share as far as what we observed for this game. Be sure to keep a lookout for our blog. We will have a pregame analysis on Tuesday. I'll have it out early during the day, not right before tip-off, but by midday lunchtime, I will have it out at 2132.wordpress.com. Okay, so keep us in mind. Have pregame analysis, and I'll also be doing quarterly analysis. At the end of every quarter, I'll be releasing a statement based on my observation of the game and the flow. And of course, we will sit down and have a post-game rant.
Right.
Like I just did. So y'all have a wonderful night and have a wonderful start to your work week tomorrow. And I will be talking to you. Peace.
Peace.